John Davis doing what true crimers do.
John Davis True Crime.
John Davis True Crime.
John Davis True Crime.
Hey, John Davis.
John Davis.
John Davis.
John Davis.
John Davis True Crime.
This guy's John Davis.
John Davis True Crime.
John Davis True Crime. Maybe that's where I've heard that name before. John Davis. And it's good to see you, John. How are you?
Davis True Crime.
John Davis.
Hey, John Davis.
John Davis True Crime kicks butt. Hey, John Davis! John Davis.
I'm in at 30, and I'm loving it. Good afternoon, a happy April 3rd of 2025. Who do we got in the chat this evening? I'm seeing Messi to the Jesse, Katarina Rostova. Katarina, how do you do today? I see you are in chat. Please don't start your bullshit, okay? Good. And that's caught up. I'll see in chat. We got a few in the room. Don't let the slow chat fool you. We got a few in the room. We got some stuff to talk about today. Harley want to say hi? Harley, let's calm down, girl. Where was I going? Shit. Oh, we're gonna talk about this evening. We got a couple things. Katerina Rostova. You want to be here later? I got a little Summer Wells gem that I found. I thought I'd show y'all about. Biggest thing is in case you noticed the title, which is Big Day Tomorrow. Big Day. Big Day tomorrow. I'm super pumped. The reason it's a big day tomorrow is a 7-month-old little girl who has homicide on her autopsy report is going to have some action in her name tomorrow. And it's been 6+ long years. So to me, that just reeks of big day. And who we're talking about is little Ella Bear. Ella Bear tomorrow. Ella Bear's mom's going to meet with the district attorney. And, am I jumping the gun with my thumbnail? Yeah, probably. But, hey, you never know. It's a step in the right direction. And you never know. Could this be the first time a true crime channel has actually helped the cause? I don't want to jinx it because it ain't happened yet that I know. So, there's a first time for everything. This could be it. We'll know more tomorrow for sure. I did. Have I mentioned this since I was on last? Did the house burn down side airs before or after I did my last live stream? Did I mention it? Anyway, I got a couple pictures. I was going to show you real quick. Pictures of the blaze. Check this out. Telling y'all, like World War III. You haven't been on since then. It was that night, I think. Oh, okay. Well, after my last live stream, the house beside us has been empty for a minute. There were some thugs living there. That's what I refer to them as, thugs. And they hadn't been there in a long night. Well, it just so happens they come over and decide they're going to remove, I guess, what little good quality stuff they had. And they did it late that evening. Well, when I went to get my little girl up for school at 5 that morning, right after I woke her up, she's like, Dad, the house beside us is on fire. I was like, Taylor, I ain't. And then I went and looked, and poof, you couldn't see it. It's like it had went out. But I believed her, so I went downstairs. I walked out in the yard and looked, and there's smoke just pouring out of the top of it. And poof, you can see the flames again. I don't know if it just died down in the window we could see it in or what happened. But long story short, you can check the channel if you want to, John Davis True Crime, for more footage of the actual blaze. I got some shorts of it. Taylor is the hero. Taylor did save the day. Taylor wouldn't have noticed the fire, and I honestly 100% believe this. If we would have been 5 or 10 minutes later noticing it or calling it in my house, there's a good chance it would have burned down. This was just, you can see this is a side view of my house. This is just from the heat. Flames never touched it. It's just, it was that hot that it did that to my house. But super thankful nobody was hurt. That's all that matters. You can replace siding, you can't replace people. We was about to abandon ferrets. That's how serious it was, wasn't we, Brandy? We was about to get the ferrets and run during the fire. It was getting so bad. I told Brandy, I was like, you might want to get them. I don't know yet. It's close. Let's wait just a second. And then finally the police department showed up. And I tell you what amazed me was how much water the fire department pours on the ground while putting out a fire. Turns out to have all that water pressure and all that, they have to keep the pump cool too, and water just goes everywhere. It's amazing how much water. You wouldn't believe. My yard was flooded. It flooded my basement, everything. Just where the house they were putting out, all that water runs down into my house. And I'm telling you, well, let me bring the picture back up. I think it shows it pretty good. But if you look, that other house is elevated. Right now, there's like a skeleton left, and we are scared to death it's going to actually blow the house over into ours. Because it looks rough. And it's like still, when I walk out on the front porch, all I can smell is bonfire. But, okay. But it might bring, I would tell y'all the names, but officially we just got Kanye and Sissy. It's what seems to be catching on. But most of the time people call him Bubby, but might bring him down in a minute if we can rein him in long enough. Yeah, the burn house smell is awful, man, and it is strong too. It's just like you're right beside the campfire when you walk out my door. It's so strong. It's crazy. They've changed up StreamYard since I was the time I was on. There's a lot of weird stuff on here, and I'm not sure what some of it does. I'm trying not to bring anything. But anyway, I didn't mean to skip back and forth so much because, like I said, I really wanted to say, I want everybody to say a prayer that tomorrow we get a positive outcome. Because I'm real sketched out. Because they hadn't talked to Mom in a long time, the mother of Ella. They hadn't talked to her in a long time. And we did the last live and got some people to call or to email proper emails, because we didn't want them, raising Cain and all that, because you catch more what is it, flies with honey, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, and we told everybody the case and laid it out and all that. We said, we really want to try to help this move along. It's been 6 years, and they weren't returning mom's phone calls or nothing. Well, she has a meeting tomorrow, so I hope everybody will cross their fingers, say a prayer tonight before bed, puts out some good vibes. Hi, Dina Spivey. Dina Spivey in chat. But we might know something tomorrow. If it's something extremely good that I can share, I definitely will. Hopefully it is. You know, I don't want to put a bad spin on it, throw a bad vibe out there. Hopefully it is. It's just got me a little bit. I don't know what you'd say, cautious maybe, because I kind of feel like if they had something good to tell her, they would have contacted her before it took me to get, you know, a group of people to send emails, because it seems like that's what triggered it, because it was like the next day they contacted her. So, like I said, you would think if they had something positive to tell her, something like that, there's a good chance they would have reached out to her before all that. So I'm hoping for the best. And, you know, I tried to tell Shelby too, you know, regardless the case and what's happened, it is what it is. And that's all there is to it. She got a lot of stuff on her side. She got a coroner report that says homicide on it. You know, the doctors say that, you know, this don't make sense. There's no way that kind of head injury was from falling off the bed. Yada, yada, yada. There's a lot of stuff out there that says somebody did something to this baby and needs to pay for it. So if something bad happens tomorrow, we're going to go, we'll move up the chain of command to the next person. Because everybody that sit down and took the time to listen to it and have it laid out and explained is in agreement. Something is wrong here. Something is really wrong. What?
Off topic. Do we get those paper towels? Are they still in the car?
I don't, paper towels? There may be some in there. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I ain't sure. But hopefully we'll know something tomorrow. Her meeting's kind of early, and hopefully it'll be something positive I can share. If not, y'all will see an upcoming live stream for where do we go from here. But this is such a touchy thing, because this is one that can be solved. There is evidence. We just need somebody to listen and look at it and be like, you know. And I tell you, mom's ready. She's going in there and she got her list, guns ablazing, going to lay it all out for them. How they want to be able to blow her off with, you know, we just don't have this or that or this, is beyond me. So I'm hopeful. I'm real hopeful. Moving on. And I made a post earlier today. If anybody wants to go check it out, it's on YouTube. You can comment and maybe say a prayer for Shelby in the comments. Give her some prayer, you know, or something. Throw some good vibe on it. Big believer in vibe. Y'all know that. Well, some of you know it. All 11 of you should know it. So I was on Facebook, right? The other day, I was scrolling through YouTube, and everything I seen just got me in an even iller mood. Hi, Sparker. And I was like, these people just don't take this stuff seriously. I'm going to just go off. And then I was like, I can't really go off, because I ain't done much to help the cause either, to be honest, because the cause is stuck right now. Summerwell's case is a cold case and getting colder by the day. So I thought I'm going to look around and see anything out there. Well, I've been banned from, or blocked, I'm sorry. I've been blocked from the Find Summerwells page by Timbo for a minute now. That's the media manager for Don Candace. And I ain't been able to see nothing. So I managed to look around. I seen this, man. This from 2022. It just was like a blast from the past, because it makes you think about how long this has been going on. Almost 4 years. Or Yeah, at this point, we're a few months shy of 4 years. June 15th will be 4 years. But this is a blast from the past. This is back January 5th, 2022, from the Find Summer Wells page, which is Tim Mullen's, JD Tim's, what some people refer to him as, in my opinion, allegedly. Anyway, it was our friend Benny Keys. Some think he is a wild man, but Benny Keys is truly a best friend of the family. He is brilliant. Don will only be doing YouTube interviews with Benny Keys from now on. Anyone else that wants to interview Don will have to join Benny's show with Benny as our arbitrator. Man, I wish I'd have seen that. I went for that. Benny has a heart as big as his mouth sometimes. LOL. But the real Benny is 1 in a million, or maybe even 1 in a billion. Thank you, Benny, for always being there for the family. Your heart, abilities, and talent are endless. Love and prayers, Don Candace. Watch the YouTube video. Well, I heard from Benny. Of course, I ain't been around a lot myself, so I ain't heard from Benny in a long time. And I don't think they would be so up on Benny lately, because at one point, I don't know where he lies now, but at one point, Benny was like, y'all did that shit. Y'all sus as hell. Does he still feel like that? I don't know. He might. I haven't seen Benny in a long time since he got in some, one of his many issues. My last understanding was no more social media for him. Does anybody know what happened with Benny? Has anybody heard lately? Is he still gone? He seems like he'd be one of them things you can't get rid of. They're like, oh my God, you got the bad one. You can't get rid of that. It's for life. I don't know if he was double agent in it. Good job, I guess. He took it further than I would. I could. Nope. I mean, this cover everything on the cut of the suit. Yeah, we'll go clip. I got y'all a clip. So like I've been combing through, and this is 3 months old, but I know, looking by the views on, which I was kind of shocked by that. Everybody, it's so hard to crack what happened, that they watch JSB in hourly. JSB's getting tons of views. And I thought to myself, well, I wonder how many people's watching Candace's channel, because Candace has a channel. It's called Can, right? And I loved, and it's like her videos, 300 views, 700 views, stuff like that. I thought, man, I would have thought every one of these true crimers out here, all these people, would have been like, that's, I hate to remind everybody, I look like no more. Good to see you. Eating supper, so I can't chat, but I'm listening. I would have thought everybody would have been hanging on her words, because, I don't care where you're at in it. She's still suspect numero uno. I mean, that's the way I see it. Is she not? So I really felt like, I was really shocked that there weren't more. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to take one for the team. And I watched a lot. And this was probably the most relevant thing I've seen. I watched this and listen to what's said. And what happens here, let me set it up for you a bit. Apparently, because they ended up kicking whoever this was out of chat, somebody put something in chat, had something to do with Candace wears summer, or Candace kids don't just disappear, had said something to her. And the lady's name apparently was Linda. You'll hear it in the video. But listen to this and listen to what she says and how she says it. I want to see what y'all think.
Yeah, Linda, you tell me exactly how many, all these missing kids that just disappear, you tell me how that happens. I'd really like to know. Because if I knew where the hell she was, she'd be in this vehicle with me right now. Sorry to tell you. That's all I got to say about it.
Let's do it one more time to exactly what she says about
For them to think.
Oops, sorry, that was something else.
Yeah, Linda. You tell me exactly how many all these missing kids that just disappear. You tell me how that happens. I'd really like to know. Because if I knew where the hell she was, she'd be in this vehicle with me right now. Sorry to tell you. That's all I got to say about it.
Where she was, she'd be in this vehicle right now. I thought that was interesting because to me, and you know, you can read too much into stuff. I don't know. Everybody can have their own opinion. But to me, saying that I don't know where she is, but if I did, she'd be in this vehicle right now, makes me feel like, at least in Candace's mind or her heart or something, that she thinks Summer's still alive. And I'm telling you, you're going to have to, everybody's just going to have to get over, Donna Candace done it, that's it. Maybe not. Who knows? Regardless, you're going to have to look at everything. But for her to say that gives me the feeling she knows that she's alive. I swear, I've been toying with this new thing because you can go back to all this. This happened, that happened. It was this, it was that, and it's all been run to death. I'm trying to think new, okay? Because nothing else is making sense. What if they sent her away because they were afraid CPS was going to take her? Is that a possibility? Is it? I mean, we see what happened with the boys. It would have been, could it be? I'm telling you, I've listened to this 300 times. I just get,
Yeah, Linda. You tell me exactly how many all these missing kids that just disappear. You tell me how that happens. I'd really like to know. Because if I knew where the hell she was, she'd be in this vehicle with me right now. Sorry to tell you. That's all I got to say about it.
if I knew where she was, she'd be in this vehicle right now. She doesn't say, you know, if I knew she was still alive, I would have her. She doesn't say that. It says if I knew where she was, she'd be in this vehicle right now. Nothing else is panned out. Why not? You know, if you're gonna, if everybody's going to insinuate some of these brain dead people on YouTube are outsmarting the TBI and the FBI and all that, you should believe anything is a possibility. In my opinion, allegedly. Not that I don't mean everything I'm saying. I'm just trying to cut my ass because these people, you know, you can't have an opinion. Well, you can, but you just got to make sure it's stated. Is it facts? No, it ain't. But what else is there? What else is there? JSB pulled it off. Hold on. Hello, Harsh Reality. Harsh, give me a glad y'all are all safe the other day. Thank you, Harsh. Appreciate it. Shocked to see you here. Didn't know anybody could find this live stream. I tell you though, man, I don't know. Am I looking too much into it? Possibly. Things are good, Harsh. Thanks for asking. We dodged a bullet. A little bit of melted siding, but we could have come out of it a lot worse. I'm of the opinion though that there could be something to that. I really am. To me, just the way that rolls off of her. I'm gonna play it.
Yeah, Linda. You tell me exactly how many all these missing kids that just disappear. You tell me how that happens. I'd really like to know. Because if I knew where the hell she was, she'd be in this vehicle with me right now. Sorry to tell you. That's all I got to say about it.
I don't know. I've listened to him talk a million times, but it just feels weird to me how she said that. I mean, could it be a mother trying to be positive, possibly? Fun size. What tomorrow is the case that I went over on my last live stream. It's currently in progress. The little girl, she was 7 months old, and she was taken from us from severe head trauma, and the law enforcement doesn't seem to want to give the mother any information or contact with her, let them know what's going on. And she's got a meeting tomorrow with people that can make stuff happen, and we're really hoping little Ella Bear gets some really good news tomorrow. Really hoping. So everybody put in that good mojo, maybe a prayer or two for Ella Bear. Back to what I was saying, though. I don't know, y'all. Outside of hanging on what they're saying, I don't know what else you can do. I really don't. Me and Brandy had the conversation the other day. What is there a possibility that Doneganis didn't do it? Don't know. Yeah, I think there is. I think where the possibility lies at is it was a case of she wandered off and could have got snagged. I think that is a possibility. But I also think if that's the case, it has to be somebody that lives out there. It has to be. Because I'm convinced they don't have shit on no cameras. And I know there was a couple cameras. Okay? I'm convinced if they had any iota of a car or person in that vicinity on that day, by now we would have be on the lookout for this and a description. I'm wondering why Marlena Croft has chosen to come crawling out of the woodwork. Look like if I had to make a honest guess from what I know, Summer was abducted by a stranger. She'd have been found. Maybe. I wouldn't put too much stock in anything Marlena Crawford does or says. I mean, I know back in the day, the thing was, anybody, if you had 5 subscribers, you could have got an interview with Marlena Crawford if he's willing to pay her. And I don't think you can ever trust anything somebody is saying because they're getting paid. I really don't. And I think if she had anything positive to offer, police know it. I don't think she does. It's just my opinion. I just think it's wild. She was charging to do interviews. And, I know there's people that would get on here right now and probably say they did it if you paid them enough. So it's funny. I'm suspicious of that because it shows bad intent. Number one, to take money to talk about a little girl she knew. She's not like some of these people. She met Summer. She was around Summer. She knew Summer. And then she's going to charge money to talk about Summer? What's that say about her credibility to y'all? I'm just saying. John, have you seen the channel Fred said? No, I have not. I'll write it down though, and I'll look at it after I get off here. Is it of interest? Fred said. Oops. She talked about everyone being drug addicts like she wasn't too. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of that in this case. There's a lot of hypocrites. I'll tell you what, the neighbor, if you know who I'm talking about, she's the worst one. And she was just as bad as the rest. The neighbor. You know what I'm talking about? There's your hypocrite. Hippo. I don't know that. I'm starting to think. I'm starting to think it's a 90% chance. And I wouldn't say it's we'll go 50-50. A 50% chance now at this point that it was done in Kansas. 50% it was something else. Both ways, I think there's a good chance they probably know. Just points out all of his different stories and contradictions, but I find it curious why he has lied and pointed fingers at everyone else. Is it Fred's channel? Is that what we're talking about? Who are we talking about? Just points out all his different stories and contradictions. But I find it curious why he has lied and pointed fingers at everyone else. So I'm assuming you're telling me it's Fred we're talking about. No, it's not Fred. Who is it? Oh, it's about stuff Fred says. Oh my God. Oh. That's what drives me crazy. Is people enabling this behavior. You know, I get on lip lock all the time. I'm like, why do you keep messing with JSB? If y'all quit talking about her, she'd go away. Fade from it. Now, I'm not, now listen, I will say this. I do think whoever it was, they didn't look out of place in the area. So I mean, it could be one of them. I just think it's real doubtful that it's any of them that talks all the damn time and runs their mouth constantly. Is any mad at someone back there? She's getting on the Harley. Harley wouldn't come in. Harley's got this thing where she thinks there shouldn't be anybody outside of the people in this family on planet Earth or near us. Nobody. They're all enemies. She's hateful as an older gal, ain't she, Brandy? Benny was banned from using social networks. I wonder if that's how long I guess for sure they can enforce that for the length of his probation, but I wonder if that's like for life. Like he can never again have a YouTube channel or anything. Is that a thing? I bet it's why he's on probation. So whatever he did last time, he still ain't back in the day. I just seen one of the posts where Tim Mullins was saying what a genius he was and a great friend, and I was like, I wonder if he ever thought about removing that. True, and the parent story just seems way too scripted to me.
Let's go.
Yeah, the story's bullshit. That's why I've always been highly sus of them. You know? If you're going to tell, I always thought of it this way. If there's something that you knew they were lying about, then you could say, well, they're lying. That's guilty as hell. Why would you lie? Telling the truth. And I was like, what could you pull out of it that you would know? And you wouldn't know this, but I think we all know that the walking her 20 feet to the door was bullshit. We've seen the sleeping in church. So I've always been suspicious. Why'd you lie about the one thing? That makes me doubt you. And you're already the number uno suspect. It's always going to be the last person to see this person. Now, does that make everybody up there kinda? I've always felt like I'm not convinced the boys ever seen her come back from the lake. I think it could have been a thing where they assumed, or she was like, your sister's downstairs playing, so they was like, yeah, she was here, because you know how boys are. I know they could sit there and be gaming like hell, and you could be like, what's your sister? And they're like, yeah, I got it, no problem. I always felt like that. I'm not convinced that she was ever seen. Because if y'all were here in the beginning, back in the day, I think for sure in the early beginning, like the biggest the biggest thing was everybody thought she had drowned at the lake. Still don't know that that's not a possibility. All these, years later, like I said, we're almost 4 years. June will be 4 years. 2 months from being 4 years. Let that settle in. That's how I remember how long I've been on YouTube, because I didn't come on YouTube till this. And we're still damn near in the same place. From day one, I thought it was Candace knows, and then 4 years later, I still think she knows something at the very least. I don't get into the Sebastian Rogers thing, but I'm really shocked that we're still wondering what happened to him. When that first happened, I was like, this is going to be no time they're going to find him close by or something. And in that case, in my opinion, there's a lot of bullshit and chatter that goes on, and people love to make stuff out of nothing. Y'all watch the videotape. Do you see the videotape? There's a person over in a green hat. Guess what? They breathed. I seen it. Now, why would they breathe while Sebastian was in the restaurant? Why? Ugh. Insanity. Everybody, a big round of applause and welcome Not Dramanana, longest member of JDTC, so she gets VIP treatment when she rolls up. One of my theories is she was still asleep when they got home, so they left her in the truck in heat, maybe. I don't know. I have a few different theories. Parker, I think anything, and I've always said this, if somebody told me, you've got to tell me right now what happened, and everything was dependent on it, if I ever found myself in that situation, I would go with she passed as the result of neglect in some fashion. I call T-Bird the most long-standing member of JDTC. Don't be trying to start somewhere there ain't none, Jesse. Thank you. Ow. I'd heard Dawn and Candace split up. I would have to think, though, for the good of the case, that's a positive. I would think. Makes you wonder, too. Because when people drink, you know how they talk. If anybody has had that while they was around them and they've been like, it's about to happen, or if it ever would happen. Whoever that person be. I met Messy Jessie here, LOL. I met all y'all here, Suzette, Messy Jessie. I don't know. I would definitely say, though, at the end of the day, and I say that, I mean, to me, when I seen her sleeping in the church, to me that just said there is somebody that damn sure ain't concerned about walking her daughter 25 feet to the door. That's how I knew the story, something was a lie in the story. If you're lying in the story, there's a reason why you're lying, because you know something you shouldn't know or something happened that shouldn't happen. And I've never been able to move on from that. And then over time, more things happen. Like Don, if y'all remember in the beginning, he was the worst for past tense. The worst. And then you heard him, I think it was 2 days. I don't even know if it's complete 48 hours. He's saying, well, I'll see her in the resurrection. What? What? You tell me that's somebody that don't have no idea about what's happened, is already ready to give up on the search and say, I'll see her in the resurrection? And I'm not saying he's not this super religious dude where every time he talks to you, it's, hey, I'm Brother Don, how to meet you, bless God, and all this. I'm not saying that's not who he is. I'm highly suspicious that's not who he is. In my opinion, the rants and all this stuff, the criminal record, as long as my road to the interstate to the next town over, you know what I'm saying? It all just adds up and adds up and adds up and adds up. And everybody's looking for this villain and all these other people, and you don't need to expand out any further than the house. Somebody there knows. And, you know, I've never, personally, in my opinion, allegedly, I've never given Grandis a pass, because it's sus to me. She was outside even more than Candace was, had all the same stuff. She didn't see or hear or know nothing either. She thinks Summer walked downstairs and just. And then, I don't know if this is right in the timeline or not, but at one point, I'm pretty sure it was kind of early on, Candace started going with, well, we think somebody's taken her. Why would you think that? You were there. How many people did you see? 0. How many people did you hear? 0. How many times did the dogs alert that you bothered looking to see if somebody was there? Oh, 0. But yet you think somebody took her. Why wouldn't you think she wandered down to the road and got taken or something like that? They thought that because that was the story that all of them wanted to go with, and it seems like, you know, they have, depending on the time, they have this thing where everybody agrees the same thing. It was CPS there for a minute. I don't know if dogs were on vacation. That was always my biggest pet peeve of all with the stranger theory. Now, Allie said the dogs were mean. Do I believe Allie necessarily? No. Should you believe everything Allie said? No. I'm not speaking ill of the dead. Birds of a feather flock together. So all these people that were in Candace and Dawn's sphere that want to act like saints and like, oh, I seen this and I seen that. Well, guess what? You was there for it because that's what you and your friends were doing. See how that works? I don't go hang out with people that do wild shit because it's fun to be near crime. I don't do that. Do y'all do that? Show of hands. Back of the, nobody? You don't do that. Birds of a feather flock together. So all these other people that act like saints and tell all this stuff Don and Candace done are just as bad as not Candace. One dog will bark when you pull up at the bottom of the drive, but 1,000 won't bark if you make it to the top. Bullshit. You know, and I went off about this a long time too. Everybody knows how dogs are. You think a pack of dogs is going to let some stranger march up to the house, steal the smallest member of the family? I don't know about y'all. Every dog I've ever had seemed to be the most protective of the kids, the smallest ones. It's always been like that. I'm damn near 50 years old. I don't speak out of no experience. That's my experience. And you're never going to convince me somebody walked up there and grabbed that girl without the dogs acting up. But John, they only stay around good church going people according to Don. Thank you, Sparker, for reminding me of that. And that's another thing. In them interviews, he's like, we don't really know the neighbors. Neighbors? Well, there's some blonde woman I seen one time, I think, brown something. I don't know any of them. Then the next thing you know, the neighbors coming out. Oh yeah, Don and Ken, sure. They cut animals in half and swing. I mean, come on. I mean, Andy even admits to selling weed to Don, so he acted like he didn't know who none of the neighbor was. There you go. There's another case of you full of shit. Why are you full of shit? Because you're guilty of something. That's why this burns me so much when people go out on these wild trails and leave them out of it. Like, man, what man? It was this conspiracy of rednecks. If it was, it starts here. It starts here. If Candace would say, look, here's what happened. We went out to the lake. I had a twisted tea. Then I had another one. It was the sun was beating down on us. I got home and I was just wasted from the heat and the twisted teas. I laid down, took a nap. Next thing I know, I can't find something. I would have believed that. And I would have thought maybe she didn't have nothing to do with it. I think something tells me I think there's a good chance there could be what happened. Tracy McComber, thank you. Looks like I have some catching up to do. I can't believe we are coming up on 4 years. Just a little something for Bubba and Sissy. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you so much. I was bummed hardly anybody showed up tonight. I thought all my peeps would be back out. I did a warm-up live the other night to tell y'all I am back. I'm going to start being around more. I'm going to try harder. I'm going to do better. Made my night. Thank you, Tracy. But it's amazing that we're sitting here 4 years later wondering, is it not? It damn sure is to me. I noticed something too earlier. You know, I mean, she certainly is still part of my set. Always will be. That'll never come down. And it's hard to believe we're still here. It really is. 4 years, almost 4 years. And I feel like the case is cold now, to be honest. I hate to say it because I don't want everybody getting mad at me. You're claiming Dan, blah, blah. But it's cold, y'all. We need something to break. I remember him saying something about math professor neighbors doing the nasty on the lawn. He told some crazy shite. What was true, Dawn? I'll tell you the one. What's her damn name? Old Mud Flaps. JSB. Oh, JSB told the craziest ones, talking about the kids coming over and getting in the fridge and stuff and all that. And you know, I still, and we may never know what the exact situation was on the CPS status. Hi, Poppy Red. Jean. We probably never will know what the exact status was of CPS because of the privacy and all that shit. Unless it was ever to come trial, we might find out then. But it goes back with what I was saying earlier. And a lot of y'all wasn't here then. I'm going to play this clip one more time. And this was the newest thing I come up on. It's a few months old. But I've seen it didn't have many views, so I doubt anybody really seen this. But this was the only time that I seen that she even really referenced something.
Yeah, Linda. You tell me exactly how many all these missing kids that just disappear. You tell me how that happens. I'd really like to know. Because if I knew where the hell she was, she'd be in this vehicle with me right now. sorry to tell you. That's all I got to say about it.
If I knew where she was, she'd be in this vehicle right now. Boggles the mind, don't it? And, you know, at first, I think a lot of people were hoping that, you know, I hope she's still alive and they find her. But, you know, we're at 4 years. You got to think that's almost something maybe we shouldn't be hoping for now, because if she's in trafficked or something for 4 years, that's the saddest outcome I could think of, to be honest. My internet's been shitty this evening. Is it okay, y'all? Is it real bad? I mean, you think about that, 4 years. And then, you know, a lot of people was out with the, well, maybe, you know, there was a family at church or somebody that's seen the situation, was like, that's not good for her, and took her to have her a better life. It's a superb long shot at this point, but God, I'd love to believe that. Sadly, she's been missing almost now as much as she was alive. Katarina, I think about that all the time. For some reason, my ADHD, I do numbers a lot, and I'm always doing, well, she was 5 when she disappeared. She'd be turning this old, and I'm like, that's half almost, you know. It's wild to think about that in another year, that will be the case. She'll be missing as long as she was alive. Could you imagine, though, what if it come out and it was a case of like some Amish person seen her and was like, I'm going to save that child, you know, somebody at church had a good heart, because, you know, you never know. Wouldn't that not be the most wonderful story ever told? And they would have so much material off of YouTube to be like, this is what was going on. And then it turns out all these people with all these theories and all this and that and all that were all wrong. She was fine the whole time. Actually, it was an upgrade. She was even better after she was taken. It'd be wonderful. Wonderful. And I don't want to stomp on that for anybody that thinks that's the case. God, I love the view of how that would look, but I also despise the thought of somebody getting away with this. And, you know, people are dropping. People that could have possibly known something. Allie, Jose. And I tell you, when it comes to Jose, a lot of people defended Jose. But that goes back to me with, I just don't think amazing people were hanging out at Ben Hill. And if you look about it and you think about it, this dude moved into a kid's playroom with a woman whose husband was out of town. It makes you wonder what his intentions were, and who knows what could have happened. That was always a big sticking point for me and Brandy too, was the thought if you would let some stranger move in and be in your kid's playroom. That's where his bedroom was, their playroom. Some stranger you just never met before. And that's why I think, in my opinion, it's safe to say whatever happened was a result of some kind of neglect. And I consider that neglect. I think you're a neglectful parent if you let some strange man in the same house with your daughter without properly vetting, much less just move his ass into the kid's playroom. That's my opinion. You know, a lot of people seem to think I'm a hard ass, you know. Not trying to say I'm perfect. I've made mistakes in my life, but I grew the hell up and started thinking about somebody else besides me first. And it's amazing how life works out when you can manage to do that. They've never done that. You think that was advantageous for the kids having some strange dude move into their playroom? Like I said, though, he could have known something gone. He did say a lot, though, but he's like the rest of them, man. How do you know what to believe and what not to? Because you were there hanging out with him. Apparently, you didn't find him as repulsive and as bad a people as you telling everybody because you were there with him. Am I right? Don't y'all think that birds of a feather thing is a true thing? You know, you're not hanging out with people doing drugs if you ain't doing drugs. You know, does that happen? It doesn't. You're not breaking the law, or you're not breaking the law and hanging out with people that are constantly. You know, it's not happening. Those kids was used to people moving in and out. That's just my opinion. You know, I'm scared to say what they were used to. If you hear Jose tell it, they were used to eating dollar pizzas from the Dollar General up the road every night. Go with what he was saying. It's how he put it. If you're picking up what he's stepping in. You know, JSB says the weird shower thing. Everybody, it's like family showering. I don't know. She said that. It's alleged. I found that odd as hell. You know, I will say, though, I grew up kind of country. My grandma, at her house, they had a well. When I went and stayed all night with that grandma, this is my dad's mom. When I go stay out with them, you had like 2 minutes of water time and shampoo come hell or high water. You's coming out after 2 minutes because you wasn't going to be the one to run the well. You know? But having said that, I think it would be more appropriate to maybe fill up some buckets and let everybody wash off than doing it as a team. That's just strange. And, you know, how awkward would that be as a young man at 12, 13 in your skivvies with dad taking a shower? Like I said, I'm country. I ain't trying to act like I'm uppity and all that. That's odd behavior to me. The opening the floor to the basement was very concerned to me. Yeah. And that design was made like it was a when people do certain things, it makes them really paranoid, and that's the kind of thing I could see having that effect. You know what? We got the way to go downstairs. Let's cover it up with this desk, and then if shit ever hits the fan, we can be bolting out the back door while they're knocking. It was really strange. A lot of people thought it played into it. She had fell down the steps or something, which is a possibility. You never know. You know what I'm saying? It is a possibility. It was a death trap. It was. And I tell you, if you've ever really got there's a couple, I think in the Chris McDonough interview where he's walking through the house, you can get a good shot of him, and there's a couple pictures that you can get a good shot and get a good idea of just how serious those were. Those weren't steps. They were more like a damn ladder. It was I've never seen them that dangerous in a house before. And it was so funny when McDonough went to the house, right? Candace is like, I'm going to show you the downstairs. We'll go through this trap door here. And old McDonough's like, what do you mean? I could just walk around. And Candace's like, get your ass down the ladder, McDonough. McDonough took the steps. She bullied him into it, but McDonough went down them. But that gives you an idea because McDonough was sweating them going down them of how just crazy that situation was. The whole place was concerning to me. What was concerning to me was the stuff over the windows downstairs. You could, I really feel like when you see that, and you see the red, and you think about how the steps were made, it was like that was where you were going to hide if somebody come looking for you. Because I mean, if you were upstairs and they might have had something playing where like you pushed something over the steps to where you wouldn't see them, because you never know that was there if you wasn't, you know. It's odd. It's odd. I remember they did explain that at one time. I remember hearing the explanation and thinking, it sounds like some bullshit. I don't know. McDonough was like, WTF. Yeah. McDonough wasn't feeling the steps, man. He was like, get down here, Donough. He got down there. Yes, sir, he did. He climbed right on down there. I seen this too. I haven't mentioned this yet. This was on someone else's Facebook group. I just seen it because Tim Mullen blocked me. I don't get why, because I never really said anything out of pocket there. I think it's for summer. It's called Find Summer Wells. You should be kind of respectful. I never went out of pocket on there, but he blocked me nonetheless. And I seen this, Jim. This is to clarify which banner of Summer Wells that was taken from the property. It was located on the upper part of the dog trail, which leads back to the house. It was facing Ben Hill Road, as can be seen in the WJHL news report last summer. To the person that has it, please return it, for it has special meaning to the family. I'm not even really dogging on that. I'm more thinking of what kind of person would do that? What kind of person would go to Ben Hill and steal the Summer Wells banner? Who does that? Why would you do? It's not like it's on the highway where it's getting thousands of views a day and you're afraid, by seeing it, it's going to get you caught or something. So it's not that, right? So why would somebody go there and steal it?
No.
I'd love to know who done that. And I'm telling you what, if I was, I'd have cameras all over that joint. There's just people that eat, sleep, and breathe harm for them. It's all they think about. It's all they talk about. It's wild. Oh. Well, y'all know, Liplock has us a suspect. You'll be surprised to know. She thinks it was JSB. Don't bring that shit here, Liplock. Bring that feud in here. Hers getting to be like the Hatfield and Liplocks. All that feuding. I doubt she did it anyway. Not personally. She might have had somebody do it. But wasn't that on the roof of the house? I seen something. I know what you're talking about. I don't know if it's the same one or not. Bring the picture back up. Let's look. Wasn't the one that was on the house the one on the right? Yeah, missing banner. Yeah, it might have been. And, that's kind of creepy, too. What's that helping? Plus, at least when they do stuff for her, I'm sure they use that. It's just that's to do in my case. I'm not going to. I don't get. Do y'all get that? Do y'all see that as a win for somebody? Oh, I stole the missing girl banner. That's a chicken shit thing to do. In my opinion. Thoughts? Put in the chat what you think about somebody that was still a missing child's banner. If you got a suspect, you can throw it in there. I don't care. If you got somebody you think you know. who it was. Put him in the chat. I just don't get that. I just what person does that, and for what purpose? You know, what would you do with that? You want some memorabilia? It might have. I want to. Does that have a date on it? Let's bring it back up, John. I need me an assistant. So there it is. Ah, shit! I cropped it. Cropped the damn data. It was old though. This ain't something that just happened. This has been a little bit back anyway. Banner still on Beach Creek Shed. What if they ever figure out? I'm thinking that never got solved, probably, for sure. See, you say one that don't want to see it, and I think, yeah, you could be right, but my God, out Creek, who is going to see it? You stand a worse chance throwing it away and somebody finding it hanging up somewhere where there's going to be more than 2 people go by a day. And anybody that goes out that road already knows everything there is to know about it. You know what I'm saying? It accomplished nothing except being just a sleazy act. And I can't believe they don't have cameras everywhere. I'd have one down there at the driveway, on the bench, everywhere. It was Suzette. Was it you was telling me there was some negativity, bench, like they weren't taking care of it or something? Somebody told me that, I think. I haven't heard no updates on what they're doing. I heard they're split up. Does anybody know if that's the case? You may know if Dawn and Ken are still split up. I say that's good for the case. One of them might have more culpability than the other one, and then you never know. I don't know what y'all think, but if you weren't the person that was solely responsible, I would give somebody a deal before I would just let it go unsolved. I would even let them, if they weren't culpable for her not being with us no more. If there was somebody lower, I'd be damn fast to give them a deal to find out and to solve this. What do y'all think? Would you offer a deal in this case, not for the person that did it, but for an accomplice, in order to find out who did it and prosecute the guilty culprit? Put a 1 in the chat if you would be willing to do that. If not, just put an emoji or a middle finger or something. Wasn't me, but someone has a picture of it that it's not being cared for. Yes. I would. I damn sure would if they weren't directly responsible for what happened to her. I'd offer somebody a deal. Good. I think everybody's in agreement on that, especially at this point, man. At 4 years, I mean, I know you hear of the occasional case where it gets solved later on, but the norm is the longer something goes unsolved, the least likely it is to be solved. I would damn sure offer someone a get out of jail free card if they weren't culpable in her demise. And that's kind of the thing I'm stuck in now, is where I really think a lot of these people are just too dumb to have pulled this off. But then you also got to think there's a good chance this person's local, and right around there is the reason they didn't stick out or get spotted out there. Because I guarantee you there's cameras somewhere that shoot across that road. And if there was a suspicious vehicle on there that they couldn't explain for, it would be on those cameras. And they ain't asking for no vehicles or descriptions of anybody or anything. So I don't think there's nothing else on them cameras. So I think whoever's done it is from the area. One's down to 6 alibis. The thing with Dawn is, though, I'm thinking his electronics at least checked out, or they would have been in his ass a lot harder than they were. Hell, if JSB was involved, she would have live streamed that shit. She don't stop live streaming for nothing. We'd have it on video. Smoking and live streaming. JSB, just for the record, I don't think you've done anything. I don't think you're intellectually or competent enough to have pulled this off. So don't bring that beef this route. That's all I have. I got more stuff. Look around, see what I got. I'm going to say something else too. I'm not going to name names because I'm not going to shame nobody. But probably most all y'all are going to know who I'm talking about. Somebody got him another public intox last month, and I was going to gloat because they try to attack me constantly, and I have not responded. But that's the situation. And when it happened, I was like, I should bust this fool out for it. And as I was laughing, Brady asked me, what are you laughing at? And I told her, and she's like, you shouldn't laugh at that. They have kids. And, you know, I agree. So I'm going to let it go. I'm not going to say nothing. Because it's sad. Sad that people are given a second chance and still can't get out of their own way. It's really sad. And apparently making fun of other people and talking smack on YouTube is more of a focus than doing the right thing. And I don't want to see no kids growing up without their parents. I don't. I honestly don't. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to gloat. I'm going to rub it in. Because at the end of the day, now that I've thought about it, it's fucking sad. Pardon my language. I apologize. But that's where I'm at with it. And I even had some shit lined up. But I'm trying to be better. That's all we can do, right? So those of you getting in here late, here's my house, damn near a blazing inferno. That's my house, the one not on fire, but damn close to the one it is. If you want to see a short of a man fighting fires with a garden hose, I got one out. That's what I was doing. That happened the night of my last live stream. And I'll show y'all real quick too. This is what happens even if it don't catch on fire when it gets hot enough. I'd have never thought it. Firefighters were actually spraying my house with the water hose to cool it down and keep it catching on fire. Taylor saved the day. Hi, Taylor. You want to say hi? Taylor says no. She won't say hi. She's happy. But tomorrow, for those of you who got here late and are wondering why tomorrow's a big day, I explained that earlier. Ella Bear might have some movement in her case. We'll know more later in the day. Everybody keep the prayers coming, and we're hoping for the best for tomorrow. Well, y'all got anything y'all want to talk about? I'm kind of in a chatty mood this evening. Nothing. Our hero Taylor. Yeah, she saved the day, man. Like I said, 5 or 10 minutes of that thing burning and nobody noticing, and my house would have probably been gone. It would have been a lot worse than it was, for sure. That's the first time I've ever been that close to a house fire. You wouldn't believe it. It's probably 30 foot in between our houses. Maybe 40 feet. And at my house, I had the water hose trying to keep the ground wet in between the houses till the fire department got there, because our grapevine that was growing on the fence between my house and the neighbor's house, it was on fire. I put it out, and I was trying to keep the ground from catching on fire. You would not believe how much heat is generated by a house fire. It is unbelievable. I could barely breathe. It was so hot. Ernie Shell's running for governor of Kentucky. Corey, it's not a metal roof. It's composite fiber stuff, and I'm glad it is. It actually held up great. No, Ernie is not running for governor. I'll tell you what, he's slick enough. However he does it. If you wanted to look up Ernie Shell, you could Google him and look countless. There's so much out there on all he's been accused of, alleged stuff, but there's so much of this stuff. You got to give it to him. He is still fooling them. It wouldn't shock me if he didn't win. I'll say it. It wouldn't shock me. I wouldn't be like, oh, I cannot believe it. He's a bullshitter, and he is pro level. You got some bullshitters like Kraken's probably C tier. Ernie Shell, the best. If there was awards for being if there was a bullshitty you could win, he'd have a trophy case full of them. We're in the middle of a severe thunderstorm with big lightning, or I'd come up to talk smack. They're gonna be on a lot more. We'll give you a chance. We'll give you a chance. I might do some morning show next week. I was thinking about the old morning show. Wouldn't that be something? Ernie make governor. I can see it happening. I could also see about 3 months after him in office, the headline, Governor Shell embezzles millions, nowhere to be found. No, I haven't watched Righteous Gems, Suzette, so don't be throwing those spoilers in chat. Where are the storms at? They're all over Tennessee right now, ain't they? Jesse, didn't you about get hit with a tornado? The town next to yours got tornadoed. It's rough in Tennessee. Give us a weather update. Nothing. You got nothing? I'm going to drop the link. First person to get it can come on up and we'll BS for a little bit. We're okay for now. I don't know where the storms are. Didn't they hit the town beside yours, though? Is that what you were saying? Stay safe, everyone. Amen, man. I tell you, that's one thing I am scared of, would be a tornado or maybe an earthquake. Earthquake, tornado. Those are the two things that would really make me sweat. See, we had a good hurricane, though, last year, didn't we? Oh, it's getting hot in here. I don't know, y'all. Maybe I played that clip too much about Candace, but I still say there's something to that. We've been getting it pretty rough in north central Arkansas weather-wise. Flooding likely as well. There were 3 tornadoes sighted in Arkansas yesterday. Fortunately, no lives were lost. Good. Come on, Suzette, you on the clock or I'm shutting it down. Lip lock's in a thunderstorm. She says. She says. The dryer might just be on for all we know. Lip lock, I ain't seen you in a while. I've kind of missed you. You're cooking. Okay. Y'all, Suzette's standing us up tonight. I appreciate everybody for coming in. Really, y'all. Say a prayer tonight for little Ella Bear gets some good news tomorrow. And as soon as I find out, I will make it known. I'm gonna be on soon too. Maybe Saturday night. Maybe Lip Lock can come by Saturday night. Lip Lock, what are you doing Saturday night? Donald Thomas, someone has a low IQ. I suspect it's you. Who has a low IQ? Donald Thomas. Maybe John. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and commit to that. Saturday night is a date night with my Bob. Bob can come on too. Okay, y'all, Saturday night, no Lip Lock apparently. Lip Lock's mad because I don't support or feud with JSB, Mud Flaps. Everybody, thanks for coming. What is today? Thursday? See you again in 48 hours. If you got some topics you'd like me to look into, go ahead and throw them in the comments or the chat or somewhere where I'll see them. And if there's anything good, we'll do it. We might do a big open panel and just invite everybody and see. Pull one of them where there's like 6 on there. I've always been way against that, but I think I'm willing to try it Saturday. Or a few anyway. We'll see how it turns out. If you missed tonight, don't worry. Rewatch Crew. Appreciate you being here. We're going to go. We'll see you Saturday. I'm going to say 7. Saturday 7. It's Wednesday. No, it ain't. Is it Wednesday? No. No, it ain't. It's Thursday. Corey Edwards, you lost your mind. It's Thursday. Scare me like that. Saturday night at 7 p.m. Thanks everybody for coming. Thanks to the mods. Thanks to everybody. Thank you to the nice lady Tracy for the $20 super chat for the ferrets. They're being too wild. We couldn't bring them down tonight. We'll bring them down Saturday. Everybody have a good couple days. We'll see you Saturday.